Hello, I'm Rukmini, and today I'm making baked mascarpone cherry and walnut brownies from my new cookbook, The Sweet Roasting Tin. To start with, I'm going to pop my sugar, chocolate, and olive oil in a saucepan, and then just gently melt them together. That's going to make a lovely chocolatey base for the brownies. This is actually a gluten-free recipe because I'm using ground almonds instead of flour. It makes them really lovely and squashy, and I think it's a perfect example of recipes in this book where you wouldn't notice that a recipe is gluten-free, but it just really adds something, and it's so delicious you would be making it even if you didn't have a special diet. Pinch of sea salt in with the cocoa powder and ground almonds, and now I'm going to check on this. So that's starting to melt beautifully. Keep it on a low heat because you don't want to fry your sugar and chocolate. And as you approach this stage, it's good to keep stirring because you want to make sure it melts evenly. Now, as soon as this looks smooth and glossy, I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to add 70 mils of this milk. So by eye, almost all of it, but not quite. I'm saving 20 mils to go with the mascarpone. So just beat that in, and that's going to help cool down the mixture before you add in the eggs. It's like a delicious chocolate soup. Okay, that is lovely, super glossy. So I'm going to put my eggs in right now. And it is off the heat. So beat this until it's smooth and glossy, and then add it into your cocoa and almond mixture. You've essentially just made a chocolate custard. Now I'm going to stir this all together. And you can see this is so quick as a recipe. Barely takes any time to put together. And that is your brownie base done. For the other bits, I have got these lovely cherries, which are marinated in kirsch. I get them in a jar. They're better than sweet cherries, and the booze just adds this sort of grown-up edge, which is perfect if you're making it for a dinner party. I'm just going to add about half of these in and save the rest because they're going to go on top. Now, that is ready to put into my prepared tin. So I've just greased and lined this with some baking paper. And it's not baked, but it already smells amazing. I would avoid using sweet cherries in this dish because what you want is the contrast of those cherries in kirsch or sour cherries against the richness of the chocolate. It really helps to cut through. The last step is the mascarpone. Now this completely elevates this brownie recipe. Now just to help, I'm going to add this last tiny bit of milk. Very gently beat it together because what I'm going to do is swirl this through the mixture, and it's obviously much easier to do when it's less solid. So just give that a quick beat until it's smooth. And then a couple of spoons, just dot it into your brownie mixture. And just give it a very slight sort of smudge in. You don't have to be fancy because it's all going to bake together. You're looking for a rough marbled look, but it does not have to be perfect. It's going to taste amazing. So it's my roughly marbled brownie. Now, last touches, the rest of these cherries, which I saved. Just dot them in anywhere. They smell really good, by the way. And the final step, because I always love adding some texture to dishes, is to finish off with a good handful of roughly broken up walnuts, which works so well with cherries and chocolate. Delicious. It's not even baked yet, but you can see how beautiful it looks. It's so nice to wheel out after dinner. And now I'm going to pop this in the oven at 160 fan for about 20 to 25 minutes until it looks just set on the top. It's ready to serve, but I've got one quick tip for you. If you save some of that cherry juice from the jar, it's going to look absolutely beautiful if you just drizzle a tiny bit of it over the top. It'll be a lovely colour contrast with that white mascarpone. I love this dish. It's just 15 minutes prep, let the oven do the work, and what you're left with is this amazing crowd pleaser. Baked mascarpone, cherry and walnut brownies from my new book, The Sweet Roasting Tin.